So the idea is basically we're going to do our real quick. It's going to take maybe 2-3 minutes. Our first What the Show NFL mock draft. So I've got the draft here.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. Just pick a name on there and you're like, oh, Caleb Williams to the Bears? Bunch of nerds. Or Bo Nix to the Vikings. I guess it's silly goose time for somebody in the NFL.
Ooh.
Are these real people?
Yeah, these are real people.
Kool-Aid McKinstry?
That is a valid name of somebody going into the NFL draft right now.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
For roping. I like that.
You're a jabroni.
Quiet! Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. It's What the Show. My name is AJ Lancaster. I'm one of our co-hosts. And yes, indeed, Kool-Aid McKinstry is a first-round draft prospect in the NFL.
Obviously.
Given.
What's going on? We're the Deacons. We are here tonight to have a little bit of fun. Juice, unfortunately, got a little bit overwhelmed with work this week, so he is taking the night off. But in his place, he might be listed as Gene Snitsky. Some know him as a Rager. We know him as Taylor Cleek.
Yes, hello. I'm Gene Snitsky. It wasn't my fault. I thought you were going to say Juice was in mourning, and that's why he wasn't here.
Unfortunately, Juice is in mourning, and he cannot be here. Can you imagine?
Happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Taylor, you're on the always welcome list when it comes to What the Show. So always happy to have you on board. And I also have my little Woodford Reserve double barrel oak. This my groomsmen gift for the wedding I was in 2 weeks ago. So it's been delightful.
Cheers. I'm what is this? Basil Hayden? Basil Hayden? I don't know.
Yeah, Basil Hayden. Yeah.
I do like Woodford Reserve though.
I am drinking cheap Moscato.
This is Sun Pop. $6.99 at
Target. Recommend.
Guys, they brought back vanilla Coke.
Yeah, I've seen.
I know. We love some vanilla Coke.
Was it not on the shelves anymore?
No, it's like I hadn't seen it in at least since high school for me. It's like 15 years.
It's been in the freestyle machines because we always usually get cherry vanilla. We get cherry vanilla pibs when we go to the movies.
Yeah, but obviously you can get Coke.
Oh, sorry for the confusion. This is Rick the Rager Radis's roommate.
Agent.
Cousin.
The Rager was compromised to a permanent end on my Twitch channel a few weeks ago. So we're all in mourning.
And then the ghost stole your motorcycle.
Didn't the motorcycle just leave on its own?
That was his ghost. That great call. I see we have some Watt CW viewers in the StreamYard tonight.
That was the funniest that you've had on the channel, I think.
And it's a perfect finale. That's all I can say.
Yeah, the first hour of your streams are usually when I'm at work for the Watt CW stuff. So I'm usually catching the VOD. But yeah, big fan.
Yeah,
Thank you.
When that malfunction, that was fantastic. that was the best glitch that's happened.
Yeah, it was superb.
Oh, so speaking of ghosts, so Taylor, are you familiar with the What the Show the Night Bitch thing?
I know there's going to be a Night Bitch. I know the threat has been put out.
Yeah,
there will be one.
So when that movie was first announced, it was announced on a Thursday. And I had noticed for like the past few months, every time that there was like just the most fun piece of news to talk about, it was always the day after our streams. So anytime it happened, I started referring to it as a night bitch because like, that was the last straw. Amy Adams and Night Bitch Lemon. That was it for me. So since then, give you an idea of ones since then. I just pulled up a list of them. So this one's still upcoming. James Franco playing Fidel Castro in a movie. Going back, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Trump announcing NFTs was on a Thursday morning.
Huge night, bitch, yeah.
Yeah. And most recently, I think the granddaddy of them all, last week, O.J. Simpson dying on a Thursday.
Yep.
True. Well, technically,
Rip.
he died on Wednesday. It was just
Yeah.
announced on a Thursday.
Correct. Yeah.
And if that isn't the biggest night bitch of them all, because the fact that we have someone on our stream called the Juice and the jokes we could have made, and
he has the Bronco on his
and he
wall.
has the Bronco poster on his wall.
Will he fly it at half mast? Like,
I
is
think
it?
he could, right?
Is it? I mean, almost something worth. I would hate. Not that I would ever take pleasure in the demise of another, but
Yeah,
almost something for him
O.J.
to
Simpson,
celebrate.
may his memory be a blessing.
Yeah, well, not that we would ever tarnish that, but now is Juice perhaps the only one? It's no longer in contention.
So loose? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Beetlejuice did say that in the trailer, and we have not checked that yet.
Which maybe him saying that being a
Did Beetlejuice will this into existence?
and it's
No, Beetlejuice is undead. Has Beetlejuice been O.J. Simpson this entire time?
all along.
So I do have to. Did anybody watch the TED series on Peacock?
Not
not. I
yet,
heard it was good,
sadly.
So the last episode takes place during the Bronco chase. So like it's literally he's at his prom, and they go back and he's trying to hook up with this girl, and then the Bronco chase happens and just like totally cock blocks him. And the end of it, this is major spoilers, but it was one of the funniest things that I've seen. The end of the season, I think, because I think it's getting renewed, but the end of the season has like a pull away shot. The two of them are going in to write the Thunder Buddy song, and it's like O.J. Simpson was acquitted of all charges. The real killer is still at large.
See,
It was the funniest part of the series.
I got Peacock for the month to catch up on everything that's come out on Peacock.
Mhm.
So right now, I spent my entire day watching like the first, well, not the entire day, like a good portion, watching like the first 6 episodes of MacGruber.
Oh yeah.
And people should have been talking about that show.
Well, they launched it on Peacock, and nobody had Peacock when it first came out. I think Peacock really started getting people to get it when they got WWE Network. I mean, that was when it really.
Well, and you mentioned that MacGruber famously wants a special celebrity host of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
very good episode.
There's just my favorite quote that I'm going to start saying now. It was in the first episode of it, though. It was just like, I apologize with my whole heart, base to tip. I'm just, I was mad at myself because I knew it was like, I'm going to say that at least 10 times over the course of the rest of my life.
Are we all allowed to yell at Taylor? Also, I love that this is the most live streams we've had in a really long time, because tonight, of course, is the night that I'm painting my nails and I don't have a stitch of makeup on my face. Everyone paying attention to my eyebrows. Anywho,
You're gonna yell at me? Is that what I heard?
She wants to yell.
Yeah, I'd like to yell at you. We brought you on here because I have some unfinished business.
I swear to God, if you're about to mention he who shall not be named.
No.
2 things. No.
Well, first off, about him, we did name him the winner.
One of them is the thing.
Oh, big surprise.
Not boy Scoochcotch. You were hating on him. And not only did he tweet us, but
Did
his
he really?
mother tweeted us. Okay?
His mom responded
His
to the
mom
tweet.
responded to our tweet. Would any other hero do that? No. So he was a good, worthy champion. Okay? As long as-
He's got to come on the show to make it real.
We might work on that.
I think we should work on that. I think that should happen.
All right, what do you want to yell at me for? Was that it or no?
Second thing.
Oh, okay.
Also, if we're wait, I'm so ADD tonight. Sorry, everyone. Second thing. No, I'm going to stick on what we're talking about right now. Second thing, Taylor. So I was arguing for my boy TJ Lavin, who I knew would not advance, but I just wanted to give him some love because he's a hero in my heart. And you're like, I've been watching some more recent things. I haven't binge watched like you have. I don't know the whole history, whatever. But I've been watching some recent episodes, and I don't think he still got it. Last Wednesday, a brand new season premiered. Mind you, this was filmed a couple of years ago, but a brand ass new season appeared. And let me fucking tell everyone, he's still goddamn got it. Okay, he was on the top of his game, and I was like, Taylor Cleek's coming on next week, and I'm gonna tell him that he still got it.
They had a sequence where he was supposed to like be doing their intro, and they were throwing him an apple that he was supposed to catch with one hand and bite, but he kept missing it. And they left the bloopers in the episode, and it's just delightful.
And we're arguing that's a person who still got it?
He still got it. Okay?
What does he got? What did he have?
In the first 2 episodes.
He's got sarcasm.
That's what I mean. It's like he'd rather be anywhere else. He's just asleep at the wheel up there.
The one that they have now, the one that's currently airing, is like it's called All Stars. So they're bringing all the old people back. So he actually seems genuinely excited to see like the old road rule people.
And he was like asking how everyone was, and you know they've been just. He's like, I heard you had a baby, and like this. It just
there's two people on the show who haven't been on MTV in 25 years, so that they brought back some like classic people, which is pretty insane because they're in their 50s now, going on the channel. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's having fun. As long as he's having fun. That's
great. I just wanted everyone to know. I wanted to defend my man. He's out there. He's thriving. He's killing.
So we're going to backtrack a little bit because we missed this. WrestleMania 12, this was. They did a really, really ridiculous thing throughout the event. There was only 5 official matches on the show, and so they had to kind of buy some time. And they had Roddy Piper and Goldust in a Hollywood backlot brawl. And Roddy Piper started chasing after Goldust in a white Bronco. And they just kept cutting to the OJ footage. So, yes.
I do not remember that.
You don't remember that? Oh, that 100% happened. They did it throughout the night because the backlot brawl was like the second segment of the show. Like they did the first match and they did the backlot brawl. And then Goldust gets into his car and Piper gets into the Bronco, and they came back to the arena in the second to last segment. So up until that point, like 2 or 3 times, they did cut to the actual OJ footage.
Real footage.
Great. Okay, I know there's a game clip. Before we go to the game, speaking of Peacock, makes me think of NBC, which makes me think that SNL was great this week. And that's really all I have to say. But we can carry on now.
That was the funniest SNL I've watched in a hot minute. The Beavis and Butthead skit I've probably watched a half a dozen times.
He's watched it a lot. In fairness, it's pretty damn good.
Well, and that's the thing. Gosling broke in every sketch.
Every
single one. And it still worked. It's
because it's fucking Gosling. Like, he can, not everybody could go on the show and get away with that. Like, if it's Jimmy Fallon who did that all the time, you'd watch it like, come on, keep it together. But it's Gosling. Yeah. It's like, no, this is funny that this is happening. Which really makes me wonder, though, with how easy he breaks, how fucking long did Barbie take to shoot with the stuff that he did?
I've seen a lot of outtakes from Barbie with Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
How many takes did some of those scenes, like him on the slide, must have taken forever?
As far as like modern SNL guest / host, he's pretty goated, I would say. Like anytime he's on there, at least one skit's like making the rounds.
Yeah,
because I don't like sit down and watch SNL every week. You know what I mean? Like the big ones get enough traction that I like sit up and pay attention. And something from his always has that effect. It seems.
The last one we watched, I think the last one the two of us watched that we stayed up to watch live was Sudeikis because it was in the height of Ted Lasso, and we're like, oh, Sudeikis is going to be hosting. It's going to be good, and it was. His was probably the last one.
Was really good.
That's the last one. Yeah, you were right. That's the last one. 100%. So Taylor and I came up with a fun little game to play tonight. Now AJ might know some of this. Bethany knows what it is now, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. So obviously we brought up a bunch of wrestling stuff, and we went back to WrestleMania 12. How about we go a little bit further back from that? We're going to bring up some characters from primarily the mid to late 90s. I'm going to put up a picture of them on the screen. AJ and Bethany, I want you both to see if you know, come up with who they are and a backstory for them. And then Taylor is going to tell you the actual story, which might be more ridiculous than anything you can come up with.
Actually,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think a lot of what we have here is early to mid 90s, or early to mid 90s WWF, which is, of course, remembered as the best time of the WWF. No coincidence. They were just firing on all creative cylinders. They had the best of the best. And in my mind, too, it's like right now, the WWE is entering what they're calling the Renaissance era, where it's like we've got the best talent we've ever had, top to bottom. Our production levels are through the roof. Our creative storytelling second to none. We're no longer ran by a sex criminal lick king.
That's a big plus.
And so now there's all these new fans coming in. And so I think we're doing almost a public service to be like, hey, let's introduce you to some of the best characters, because it would be so embarrassing if you went to a party and like didn't know who Gene Smith was.
Yeah. If if you're wearing a wrestling shirt and they're like name 3 characters, you want to be prepared.
Name any of these 3 and they will be like, respect.
I'll be like, wow, you really know your shit. Also, we once played a game. Was this something back from Christmas?
Oh, yes.
Where Mike put on old wrestling intro songs.
We had like a 5-hour car ride.
And I had to guess face or heel.
Yeah.
And it was very entertaining to me.
So,
I was like, face.
I don't remember if she remembers their name, but I remember what your favorite song was. Her favorite song was the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers theme, the All American Boys theme, which is
that's a fucking bop, y'all. If you haven't heard it, look that up. May I just say?
That's a hell of a game. That's a hell of a road trip game.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining.
So what's funny, like I don't think I had really listened to any like WWE stuff prior to that in a long time, and we came up with it. And like if you go into my Spotify stats, because I was playing like 30-second clips and then skipping, it's like number 3 on my listen to artists now because of that shit.
Yeah, you never want to see WWE in your Spotify Wrapped. It really like you can't post that. You can't brag about that.
Yeah, I can be proud of that.
When YouTube Music did their version of like of their Spotify Wrapped, I totally ended up with the Planet of the Bass guy being like the top 1% of his fans.
Yep.
Says all I ever used YouTube Music for was listening to Planet of the Bass over and over.
So let's start with our first character. So
I would also like if you could guess if they're good or bad. Face or heel. I think that's a good quality.
I want to do that. That's
so good or bad, what their basic gimmick is, and give them a name.
And give them a name.
Wow, starting hot.
I'm gonna say Chris.
This is the garbage man.
Okay.
His gimmick is he goes in there and he's like, time to take out the trash.
Holy shit, you were really cool. It literally was time to take out the trash.
You see that man, and you know that that's his mother effing line, okay? And I'm gonna say he was a good guy. He's a face.
You think so? Was that a friendly face?
I'm gonna go heel. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna say Chris has a Trans Am and 2 kids he sees every other weekend.
I mean, that's accurate, to be honest.
So you're gonna swerve that he just happened to have a garbage can in hand, not really. We all take out the trash at some point. It doesn't mean defines us who we are on a spiritual level.
Exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't like define us, you know?
Well, that was an evil garbage man named Duke the Dumpster Drozy.
So I do have to partially correct you, Taylor. He started as a face.
Did he really?
He did. He turned heel after a while because he kept losing. But at his most famous moment is at the 1995 Royal Rumble. They did something they never did before, and they have not done since. In the pre-show, they did a match where the winner would get number 30 and the loser would get number 1.
Yeah.
He faced Triple H, who cheated to win, and then the referee reversed the decision. So Duke the Dumpster Drozy was one of those guys who was usually, if you went to a show, he'd be like the first match of the show.
What's his name?
Duke the Dumpster Drozy.
I'm telling all my wrestling fans, I'm really going to sound like a hipster. Oh, you don't know about Duke the Dumpster Drozy? That's on you, man. But I
The
got the
dumpster.
tagline straight on.
You were pretty damn close. Like you missed it by like a word,
We'll
which is
see.
insane.
You will
It's
notice
time to take out the trash.
a lot of these guys are going to kind of wear their heart on the sleeve. You will sort of get, I think, most of their thing just on a glimpse. Again, a really an era of pro wrestling that was really praised for its like narrative subtleties and its nuanced character building. He was also billed from Mount Trashmore, Florida, which I feel like is good to say, which is a real place, by the way. I'm not sure if this performer was actually from there. He also slept in a dumpster. He didn't just work as a garbage man. He lived in a dumpster.
Yes.
2 jobs. Worked 2 jobs. And the 90s economy was crippling. Pro wrestler and garbage man lived in a dumpster.
Wow.
All right. So this one I think we've touched upon on the show before, so it might be a little bit more obvious, but it's always a fun one to revisit.
I know this person.
Oh, the goat.
This is is he goes in and he's like, time to wake up.
I do like that.
And then when people knock him out, they're like, I'm hitting the snooze. And then they do that. Really, they should have hired me. I'm good at
He has a finishing move you do on him, so it's like if you're facing him, there's a specific move you do to him. It's not his finishing move.
Yeah, no, if you, because he's the rooster, so if you want to hit snooze, you got to finish your move on him.
Wait, I really do like the gimmick of having a move that you're really bad against, and everybody uses the same move on you, like an anti-finisher. It's really good. I've never seen that before.
Brilliant, actually.
So
the 90s seemed like a better time in wrestling to me.
I'm just check my notes. I got something a little bit different. So his name is Herman Gobbles.
Ooh, okay, Herman Gobbles.
Wait,
kind of close. All right.
Heel.
Oh yeah, I didn't guess if he was the face or a heel. I'm going with AJ. Heel. Fuck that guy. I want to hit the snooze.
Well, the way the adult portion of the audience reacted to this character, you might have thought he was a heel.
By the way, 22 minutes in, I made my first Nazi joke.
Oh boy.
but it wouldn't be the last. This
Herman
is,
Gobbles.
and he is a Nazi. You are correct. He is.
What?
Yeah, he didn't stick around very long after that was uncovered.
Nazi.
Wait, he's a Nazi?
A Nazi chicken, though. Now we're talking, Taylor.
Now this is the gobbledygooker.
Yes.
The gobbledygooker.
The gobbledygooker.
Oh,
This-
wait. So there was something else racist in his name.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was they were appealing to racial sensitivity when they removed the gobbledygooker from television. His backstory rocks.
But they used to fly in the 70s, not anymore.
His backstory's hilarious.
So for like weeks on WWF television, they would just keep cutting to this massive fucking egg on the stage. Like, oh, look at that. That's the egg. What's going on with that egg? I wonder what's in there. They would just be hyping this up for weeks. What's in the egg? Which is pretty crazy on its own. That would be like the cliffhanger. We're going to find out what's in that egg on Sunday. And so a lot of mystery and intrigue as the egg was going to hatch at Survivor Series. Rumor was that for some reason, Ric Flair was going to be in the egg.
Flair was the rumor. Yeah.
He was going to leave WCW and come out of the egg, which I would have loved to see. I would have loved to have understood why Ric Flair, a perpetually like 67-year-old man, would have hatched out, like old pervert would have hatched out of the egg. And that would have been how, like, I would love to know what that meant for us, all of us, really, if he was born from an egg. Mark, what was his name? What's Undertaker's real name? Mark Calloway, thank you. Had just recently signed with the WWF and was afraid he would be the one that would have to hatch out of the egg.
He had his first official televised match on the same show earlier, but it wasn't him in the egg.
He was afraid. He's like, oh, I don't want to be in that egg. And so Finally, the egg hatch. People think a champion's coming out of there, and the gobbledygooker comes out, and he's dancing, and immediately booed. Everybody's booing. They're so mad to see this thing. It was supposed to be like their big mascot. They wanted like a sports mascot that they could send off. Oh, look, it's the gooker. No, they booed. They booed. They wanted him to die, and he was never seen again.
Wait,
That's
so
wrestling.
he
Fly
had
with
an
me.
egg and then people never saw him again?
He
Came
had
out the
like
egg. That was it.
I want to say he showed up on like 2 of like the lower level shows, like on Superstars of Wrestling or Wrestling Challenge, like once or twice. This was in 1990. He did not appear again until WrestleMania 17. They did a match called the Gimmick Battle Royal, which is the greatest thing that has ever existed in the history of pro wrestling, because it is basically taking almost everybody who I'm showing you in this and put them all into the ring at once. And it's a delightful train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple of special guests from that match here tonight, I believe. So, yeah, it's the Gooker. Yeah, he never, aside from like parody bit moments of like, hey, remember how shitty the Gooker was? Like, that was it.
Bring the Gooker back. If this is the Renaissance, we need the Gooks.
Excuse you?
Wow.
I've had a problem with all of this.
Next.
Next
up, bring up the evil, another evil blue collar job.
Oh no. I want to know. Quick question. I want to know.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You can ask questions about every single character.
So, about the egg and people, the rumors or whatever, like how did you all, like nowadays I know we go on the internet and you're searching like the message boards, you're searching Reddit, you're searching Twitter. How did y'all know these things? How did the Ric Flair rumors, like who was communicating? What were you doing?
2 answers to that. One was like magazines and newsletters back then. Before the internet, they actually were magazines. And so that was one of them.
Okay.
And the other was, at the time on WCW did something very, very dumb called the Black Scorpion, which is a full story for another day, where this guy kept attacking Sting, and it turned out it was Ric Flair. So like they put Ric Flair on the back burner, so he wasn't actually really, he was still there, but he wasn't in the forefront. So a lot of people were like, oh, they're phasing him out. He's going to WWF. And it was all speculation. There was nothing founded to it. But
imagine the effort that you had to take to pick up a pen, put it to paper, seal it in an envelope, mail it to a magazine and say, man, I really hope, I can't wait to see who's in that egg. I heard it was going to be the WCW champion.
But like you really wanted people to know your thoughts and opinions about this back in the day, you know?
So it's so important to me to talk about the gobbledygooker. I have to send a letter to somebody. And then, you didn't even know it was a gobbledygooker. Then the gobbledygooker came out. And you're just ripping up, you're just throwing papers around. You're just so mad. You can't believe it.
You're hoping nobody else in the 4th grade read that same magazine.
Yeah, you show up to school the next day, everybody's beating you up because you were so excited to see what was in the stupid egg. It was the gobbledygooker.
How long did they tease this damn egg?
About a month.
Holy shit.
About a month,
They teased that for a month?
Yeah. It was
no wonder people were disappointed.
It's a big deal. All right. Well, we've talked about this one on the show before. Just rip the Band-Aid off.
I know this one. I'm theoretically going to meet him at some point. This is the other day, Mike made me see. This is Papa Shango. But we watched him, and I said, wrestling ain't what it used to be.
What do you mean you're going to meet him?
He's going to be at the Savannah Comic-Con.
Well, we'll probably meet him as the Godfather. Apparently, he goes to cons as each.
If it's multiple days, he'll do one as the Godfather and one as Papa Shango.
Is this? Will we know?
I don't know if they advertise that in advance.
Yeah, will that be advertised?
I started following him on Instagram, and that's how I learned this. Because like he has the pictures with it, like it's mostly him and the other '90s wrestlers like getting together that he puts on his Instagram, and half the time he's Papa Shango. So
yeah,
so we could meet him as Papa Shango for all we know.
Absolute legend.
We love like a creepy wrestler guy. Like we love that trope.
There was
to this day, like somebody who does it well, will be very celebrated and beloved. Papa Shango,
Maybe not so much.
Not so much. I don't really remember too much about. He wasn't around very long.
First of all, the face of he looks like he just like got caught farting or something. He's like, "Ooh, sorry."
Well, and recently, and I think rest in peace, the greatest to do it was Bray Wyatt, and he got like Hollywood level production. Some of this stuff,
yeah.
Papa Shango had community theater level.
Yeah. Papa Shango was like, let's turn all the lights out so nobody can see anything, and let's light those guys' boots on fire.
Yeah,
while we put goop on their head.
We did watch that, and
that'd be really tough if you were to wrestle and your boots caught on fire.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, and you would have goop come out of your head. And I don't know about you, I don't want goop coming out of my head.
Out of my head.
I'm on TV. That's really embarrassing.
Well, those jobbers probably got paid double to do that than they would have to just go out and lose. So
they got paid half just on principle. They got a handshake and a Snickers, dude.
And your boots lit on fire.
Yeah.
They had to buy their own new pair of boots.
Well, so the funny thing is that we watched that, and I look at the guy's boots ahead of time. I knew it was going to happen. I'm like, he's wearing like galoshes. I think it's blatantly obvious that these are like flame retardant boots that are meant to be like stunt boots or something like that. Because they do not look like wrestling boots whatsoever.
Maybe that was just protocol. They're like, I heard Papa Shango was seen lurking in the shadows. I'm not going to get caught. He like one of his only big moments too was like Hulk Hogan and Sid Vicious are having this match, and the big thing is Papa Shango supposed to run out and attack Hulk Hogan before he can beat Sid Vicious. Big DQ finish. Sid Vicious and Papa Shango beat up the Hulkster dude. And then Ultimate Warrior will make the save. Yeah, that's right. The Warrior right there. But Papa Shango misses his cue. So Hogan pins Sid. Shango doesn't get out there quick enough. So Sid just has to like kick out of the pin. And then the ref, Shango runs out, and the ref just kind of has to like awkwardly be like, DQ? Disqualified? So like his big moment. I love when these happen. His big, kind of a shock master in that respect. Here's his big moment, big show. With three
the main event of WrestleMania 8.
Yeah, he's about to have a thing with Hogan and the Warrior, and he doesn't get out there in time. Nobody knows what to do. It's awkward. And what are you gonna do? You can't make anybody's boots catch on fire. And then he hits the streets and he turns to pimping, and it goes very well for him.
It does go very well.
He had a career resurgence. He went from Voodoo Master to Pimp Daddy.
Yeah,
and pimping historically ain't easy.
It ain't easy. That's what I've heard. That's what they've told me.
So, if you're a pimp, you probably get paid a lot. And if you get paid a lot, you gotta deal with, finances. So
who do we got?
He is called the Tax Man.
Okay, you're not far off.
And when he comes out, he goes, the deadline is April 15th. I'm saying, because nobody likes taxes, that he is the heel.
I am going to agree with everything Bethany said.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
So you mentioned Bray Wyatt. That's Bray Wyatt's father, first things first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Mike Rotundo. The character's name is Erwin R. Shyster, which is IRS.
That is fantastic.
This game really isn't very hard when you have.
That's actually better than what I came up with. I went on the nose. I was like, the Tax Man. And they're like, no. We're going to make his initials. That's fucking better.
And his last name's Shyster. It's like, what else could he have done?
We're creating high art here.
And so if you haven't been, I'll tell you, WWF early 90s, actually, I'll say of this list, IRS, probably one of maybe the best performer,
actual wrestler
on here, and wrestler for that. IRS, kind of a great character, you think doesn't really have a lot to do with I always love the idea that like this guy's a wrestler, but like he's got this whole this guy's obsessed with taxes.
Yeah,
like that's all he'll fucking talk about everywhere he goes. Is the deadline's coming up, or you didn't pay taxes on that.
He cut a promo before. He didn't have entrance music. He'd be in the ring and he'd ask for the microphone, and he'd cut a promo about people paying their taxes before each of his matches.
I respect that. It's an important reminder.
It could be April 16th, and he'd already be giving people a hard time about their taxes. And it's like, brother, we're not even worried about that this week, and you're giving me a hard time. There was a Native American wrestler named Tatanka, and as you can tell by everything you've seen in here, again,
Tatanka was very tastefully done.
Yeah, the WWF very racially and culturally sensitive to everything.
Very.
Yeah,
he was given like a chieftain's headdress, and IRS took it away. He didn't pay taxes on it. He took it away, and we wore it around.
I mean, is that not kind of the story of America, though? The white man just steals it.
Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, or Erwin R. Shyster.
What would you rather have to just briefly show you?
Listen, they have the same number of Oscars.
I'm just saying, that's true. They do. They do have the same. Oh, we request to play his music. I'm not sure.
There's probably a copyright on there. If there isn't, I feel bad.
I don't know if this is the right, if we are the right people to play that.
You are right. Erwin R. Shyster taking Tatanka's native headdress and wearing it around is a terrific theatrical performance of all-American history. That's it. That's everything you would have to know.
So here's the other thing, though. Is like he eventually winds up teaming up with the $1 Million Man.
Right.
Wouldn't the two of them be like mortal enemies because the $1 Million Man would want to avoid the tax man at all?
He was paying his taxes.
But they were best friends and tax.
If there's one thing I learned from Alex Garland's Civil War, it's that the enemy of my enemy is my friend is a thing that makes sense politically.
Yeah.
I got a couple more here. So what happens if you don't pay your taxes? Well, you might wind up running into this guy.
Ooh.
So I can't remember his name, but I watched a match with this guy and Papa Shango.
Yes, I sent it to AJ. I was like, "This is cinema."
No, I watched it with you.
Yeah, that's right. We were with PLD. That's right.
Yeah, with PLD at like 3:00 in the morning.
AJ was the one going through heart failure, and he remembers it. But you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. We were together.
PLD and I drank a whole bottle of Gentleman Jack.
Okay, I'm calling this man. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Take a good look and really try to figure him out.
First of all, I love that his picture is just like an every school photo backdrop. Second of all, I'm gonna say he's got like a hook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
looks like a rocker.
Okay.
Paul.
I like Paul. I'm gonna call him. He's so for some reason giving like Princess Bride vibes. I'm gonna call him As You Wish, and when he comes in, he says As You Wish, and then people are like, then he says Inconceivable, rest in peace, and people are like, I don't think that word means what you think it means, and it's a whole thing. That's what I'm gonna call him. I don't know.
You got it. That's it.
The Princess Bride was still really hot at the time. People were still really, it is still hot. It's a great movie.
A perfect 10. You nailed it.
It's a very long-winded way of saying Repo Man.
Wow. I was close, though. I was close.
Yeah, he's the Repo Man.
Repo Man's going to come. Did they tag team?
They helped each other at one point. And William Harrell, like, Repo Man's theme song was a banger.
It was pretty tight.
I'm going to pull it up on my phone. So I don't know if we get copyright straight for the Repo Man song, but
8 seconds is fair use.
Yeah. So let's.
All right, 8 seconds. Yeah.
Another great thing where it's like the economy was just hurting. It's like every blue collar job also was a pro wrestler. Like my thing is I'm a Repo Man. I'm going to take your stuff. I'm also going to be wrestling.
You know what? I think we need that again.
We do. I agree with this.
Gen Z needs to do that so they start doing some trade jobs.
I'm not getting it, but I feel you.
Yep. I remember, but yeah, it's definitely not coming through.
It's great though. I feel it. I don't hear it, but I feel it.
I felt that in my soul personally. Yeah,
Repo Man. It didn't have any other lyrics. It just said Repo Man like every 20 seconds.
There should be. You touched on this, AJ. I think there should be some sort of program established where you kind of like you learn a trade, right? You go do like HVAC, but you also learn to wrestle. And then you could do both, and then you can decide which one you want to keep doing.
I think that's fair, yeah. 100%.
But your thing is like, I'm gonna fucking clean out your vents and I'm gonna hit you. Like there's no nuance there.
Yeah. All right, this
Why
one
is this shit so dirty?
This
By
is
the way, before we move on from Repo Man, so I keep on saying random first names, hoping I land on one of these guys' actual first names. So I look up Repo Man's first name.
Barry.
Do you know what his middle name is?
Paul?
Nope. Barry Allen, motherfucker.
Whoa.
Barry Allen? Oh, that's
Barry
fantastic.
Allen Darcy.
Flash.
The Repo Man went
he
back
played
in time.
That guy he played Demolition Smash, was his most famous role.
Yeah.
Then he did Repo Man. Then he went to WCW and played the Blacktop Bully. And he also played Hole in One Barry Darso. He was a golfing wrestler in the 90s.
I don't know.
Was that like a post Happy Gilmore thing?
Yeah, it's probably right around that same time frame.
But every time Mike talks about the old wrestling days, okay, y'all, he sold this shirt, right, from 1991 Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Was it WrestleMania?
Yeah, SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. And which I was happy because it made us good money, okay? But I get very emotional occasionally when I think of little baby Mike just enjoying these little wrestles. I don't know why. I just think it's so sweet. Like this was like such a big.
I started watching in 1989. From like 1989 to 2001, I watched pretty religiously.
I just think it's so sweet, like hearing about people's like first fandom. You know what I mean? Like this is the first thing you like really like sucked you in and you got into, and it's cute. I love it.
I feel like by the end of this, as you get more familiar with what he was watching, you'll actually lose respect for him as a person.
By the way, Jeremy Miller, Tick Tonka.
I'm sure there's somebody on the independent scene doing that. There has to be.
Speaking of Tatanka and his headdress getting stolen by IRS, Repo Man also took the Macho Man Randy Savage's hat away from him because he was behind on the payments. Who pays in installments on a hat?
Randy. Nobody.
And this stream sponsored by Klarna.
Fair enough.
Taylor, I'm going to let them both take their guess. I don't know how to describe the next one.
Okay.
I'll see if you have a description better than mine. This one is actually one of the hardest ones to describe because it makes absolutely no sense.
Can't wait. Oh, God.
What the fuck?
I know this one.
You know his name?
It's the Great Gumby. Gambino.
Is that really his name?
Yeah.
Tyler.
I can see that.
It's Tyler.
It looks like it's Tyler. It's why? Okay. I'm gonna call him. What were those pants that everyone was wearing in the 90s? Zubas. Yeah. I'm gonna call him the Green Zuba.
Nice.
That's a good name.
I like it.
And his shtick was he would go in there. The man looks like he has like a broken nose or something. Is that weird ass mask they gave him?
That is steroids Jeffrey Donovan.
I'm gonna say he's a face. And he just goes in there and he's like, I was a boy who grew up in the 90s. That's his shtick.
All right.
I don't even know
What is the
water out of the hose?
To describe this character? I don't even know where to start on him. Like, 'cause he had very little character.
Yeah, I don't. It is hard to say what he is. I could start with what he was supposed to be. So his name is Aldo Montoya. That's his character's name.
The Portuguese Man of War was his subtitle.
Yeah, Man of War, which is a jellyfish.
No, it's legally distinct from a jellyfish.
Is it?
Yeah, because it has a autonomous nervous center. Yeah.
I just learned something.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
he's that. So he's a autonomous sea creature. So his name's Aldo Montoya. His backstory, I understand, is this, and I think a lot of characters we've met today and will meet are a symptom of Vince McMahon like learning about. Like I think he learned about soccer, and what is that, soccer, and where they like that in South America, and so apparently, so you said he's the Portuguese man of war. The wrestler here, Aldo Montoya, is of Portuguese descent. And so in an attempt to pop some ratings in South America, specifically Brazil, they wanted to create a very identifiable South American wrestler.
What
It was meant to look like a soccer player. And then a week before he debuted was given the. Can we get that back on the screen? Real quick?
Hold on, I actually hit delete. I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to get another.
You're like, I'll never need to look at Aldo Montoya again. And you should have been right. I wish you were right, but we're gonna have
I'm
to
going to
take
pull up
another
a
look.
close up of the mask.
they got a Europe.
The
Okay.
mask is important.
Can you pull up the map?
Yeah, I'm pulling the mask up right now.
No,
It's
pull
really
up the map.
Oh, the map. All right.
Here's another look. Now that is what you could maybe say is a mask. Does it invoke any other clothing garment? This one's a little more for the fellas. I'll be honest with you. But is it invoke?
He was referred to as this during the time frame. I know exactly what you're getting to. Let's see if AJ can get to it.
So, do they like? Did they do something with the jockstrap?
Yep, 100%. That's
Nailed
it. You nailed it.
It appears to be. I don't know if it really was, but it does have a lot of a semblance to a yellow painted jockstrap with eye holes cut out of it. Now, again, this started with him being a soccer player, which,
Right.
Again, two things. He's a soccer player, but he's also a wrestler. Like that's it. He's got two things. But he's not a soccer player. He's Aldo Montoya. I guess he also, the big thing was like, he's Portuguese. I guess he got an opportunity to speak in Portuguese one time on the microphone, and they never let him do it again.
Yep.
Because he was very bad at it.
Oh, God.
And the idea was that they would get an audience.
Was Portuguese to be the Portuguese?
I think he was like partial.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. So you get somebody who's Portuguese to appeal to South America.
Yeah, I mean, I understand they're going for the Brazilian group,
Yes.
but just get a Brazilian man then. Why would you get a Portuguese?
So
Yes, they speak the same language, but they're
think-
different cultures.
I don't
Do
know. He's
we
Portuguese.
think-
I don't know. Get it the jockstrap on his face.
I think that's what happened. I think that.
Yeah, I like that we're making you answer for these terrible decisions, Taylor.
I'm
Sorry.
just positing what I feel like the McMahon perspective was.
I think Vince McMahon to this day
you've been
to this
spot on
day,
with them.
still thinks that Portugal is in South America.
He probably does.
Also,
So
apparently has no idea what soccer was. This is what the
Yeah.
soccer guy was wearing.
Yeah, his outfit does not elicit soccer to me, to be honest.
So the further backstory of this guy, there were if you watch the weekly shows, they had the people who lost every week. They were enhancement talent. People called them jobbers. It was a guy named PJ Walker who they kind of wanted to throw a bone. He worked for them for a long time. They're like, okay, we'll elevate
The quarterback?
Well, yeah, that's. I believe that is the same name. Yeah.
Kool-Aid McKinley, what was his name?
Willie McKinstry. So anyway, they put him in this gimmick, and it fails spectacularly. Like the Aldo Montoya gimmick, like they try to push him really hard, and the fans hate him. It fails spectacularly. There's a company called ECW that starts in Pennsylvania by Paul Heyman, and he needs some talent. And Vince is like, "I'm going to send you this guy because he's not doing anything. We're not making any money off of him." He gets completely repackaged into a character called Justin Credible.
Good.
And
name.
winds up becoming their champion towards the end of it.
Good name.
Yeah,
Justin
I'm
Credible.
looking at the Justin Credible Wikipedia page. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I like to think that you're on a Just Incredible centric wiki. Like it's only about Just Incredible.
Honestly, I need somebody's like GeoCities website about this man.
Yes, Aldo Montoya was celebrated all across the GeoCity back in the day for sure, with his piss stained jockstrap mask. I forget, somebody I think it was Shawn Michaels said on comment, he just immediately buried him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I heard his face smells like old sweaty testicles." Not a chance in hell comes out there with a jockstrap on. And again, I just feel like Vince McMahon he would think that was so funny. Yeah,
Right.
put the jockstrap on your face. It's like your face is balls.
I got 2 more for us. All right. This one was
Two
actually
more. You edited down. We had a longer list than that.
We had a much longer list, and I could add more if we feel like it, but I got 2 more in here right now. Taylor suggested the next 2.
Oh, yeah. What did you say?
That was literally just for us. They didn't get that one, but I knew you would.
I wasted my
shtick.
Tyler.
You wasted your Tyler. His shtick is passing out in the gauntlet too. Y'all cracking myself up. None of you are getting this joke.
I'm still just stunned by this specimen.
Okay, you're gonna be astounded when we go into the history of this person after this character.
Oh, okay. Now I'm intrigued.
This man is a mayor.
This man is currently the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Of fucking course he's from Tennessee. That I
He's
could
also
guessed.
a fucking idiot.
Yes, he is an absolute.
Well, everyone is in Knoxville, Tennessee.
William Harold with the teeth emojis in the chat.
Yes,
It's a clue. Big clue there.
This man, I hope he got some dental work done before he became mayor. What does he look like now? I need to see a current picture.
All right.
I'm going to pull up a current picture. What's his name?
So the character's name is Dr. Isaac Yankum. He was the wrestling dentist.
Oh my god.
Evil
Wow.
dentist.
evil dentist.
Well, he does look quite evil.
So, all right. So the history of this character, Isaac Yankum lasted for maybe a year. He was brought in by Jerry the King Lawler because he needed to take. Jerry the King Lawler was upset that Bret Hart had beaten him in a Kiss My Foot match. So Jerry the King Lawler needed to go to the dentist, and he met an evil dentist who he enlisted to beat the crap out of Bret the Hitman Hart.
What's his real name?
He met a dentist and he said, "Hey, you want to be a wrestler too? You can have 2 things you do."
Yeah.
And I like that idea.
So
Dentist
that
and
gimmick,
wrestler.
it went for about a year. It went nowhere. They decide at one point they want to take the characters, not the people who played them, the characters of Razor Ramon and Diesel, and give them to 2 different people. And they give it to Diesel to this gentleman. It fails spectacular. They're there for like 3 months to fizzle out.
Mm-hmm.
Less than a year later, they gave him one of the all-time greatest gimmicks in professional wrestling as The Undertaker's brother, Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That was the big red machine right there.
That is Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane. Kane lasted forever. So that guy that you saw there, his career in WWF/WWE lasted over 20 years.
Started as Isaac Yankum.
Yeah.
The evil dentist.
Isn't that crazy? The evil dentist, Isaac Yankum, became one of the longest running gimmicks of all time.
And he is a fucking moron.
He is. That's right. One of our dumbest.
Holy shit.
All I'm saying is Bray Wyatt passes away. Could have taken as somebody else. That's all I'm saying. Why
He
couldn't
was
we
an
have kept him?
anti-masker during the pandemic. No one is surprised.
So
They took OJ Simpson away. Could have been somebody else. Should have been somebody else.
I'd rather have OJ Simpson
He's the
public
mayor
service.
of Knox County.
Knox County. Okay, yeah.
Which
Which I don't get that, by the way. I thought you had to be a mayor of like a town.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a mayor of a couple towns.
I guess he's the mayor of the county. I don't know how that fucking. Well, we did in Orlando. We had a mayor of the county, and then we had a mayor of the city.
Yeah, that's true.
I never understood that.
I feel like county mayor's fake mayor, not real mayor.
No, you're not the fucking real mayor. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
His teeth do look better, though, I think.
I know. And then Kane's whole thing, too, like later was when he took his mask off, they're like, look how ugly he is. Oh, my God, he's disgusting looking.
We'd all seen him before.
At least he got his teeth fixed.
Did anybody else read Jeremy's comment in the Jerry the King Lawler voice?
My God. No, it's in Jim Roth voice.
God, that's Kane.
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler's just like, titties.
Yeah.
I want to touch boobs.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more in here. We could add more if we want, but I got one more in here. And there's a Bethany might actually get this one.
Isn't this the guy he was like always at the parks in Orlando?
This is like the third least racist one.
They don't call. Wait, what is his name?
His name's Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle.
Can I tell you do you remember what his original name was before he was Hornswoggle?
Oh, little bastard, right?
Little Bastard.
Yeah.
They called him Little Bastard?
That's all they called him. That was his name for years until they decided to try and seek a PG television rating.
Is that the guy?
So,
you guys have you guys. Wait, you hang out with the Little Bastard? What's going on?
This happened to us 2 years in a row.
We do know the Little Bastard. I'm sure.
2 years in a row, we went to Disney's Hollywood Studios on May 4th.
He must be a big Star Wars fan.
Apparently, he's a big Star Wars fan.
He's always there on May 4th, let me tell you.
Back-to-back years. The first year, we wound up standing right behind him for the fireworks show. Yeah. And the next year, we were in line for a meet and greet. And like all of a sudden, they were like stopped us because he had like VIP, and they brought him in right in front of us. So like it can't be a coincidence that he was there on May the 4th back-to-back years.
We just like to run into him. We celebrate Star Wars with him annually. Yeah, we're big friends with the Little Bastard. Now that I know that's what he was called. That's terrible. That's terrible.
A Little Bastard. And even beyond being a leprechaun, one of my favorite things about Little Bastard, or I should say Hornswoggle, which kind of even worse, honestly. That name sucks.
Yeah.
His thing was that he lived under the ring. He was always under there, and you never knew when the Little Bastard was going to crawl out and get involved.
That's terrible.
The Miz at one Royal Rumble was like hanging on for dear life, and then fucking Hornswoggle jumped out from under the ring and pulled his hand down and eliminated him.
What's that little bastard doing under there? They would say. And he's always dirty. And he's a leprechaun. There was it's also kind of prescient. I don't know if I ever
I can have boys.
I don't know if I ever made this connection with Hornswoggle before, with him being called Little Bastard, because one of the biggest storylines I can remember, and Hornswoggle, I think of all we talked about, is the only one of these that wasn't from the 90s. Hornswoggle is from like the last 20 years on and off.
Mid 2000s, I think.
Yeah, he got a lot of work. They kept bringing him back for very funny bits. He was also like a weird pervert too, if you can believe that. If you believe that about the Little Bastard. But they did it. Yeah, he was the anonymous general manager. And there was also another one where they ran a storyline with Vince McMahon where he learned he had an illegitimate son. And this was similar to the egg we mentioned earlier, something that was a story that was perpetuated for weeks on end. I have a son, and wouldn't you know it, he's on the roster. He works at the WWE because, everybody, I mean, of course he would. Everybody's got two jobs. They're a wrestler, and then they do their other things. So, of course, he works there. So for weeks, they were trying to figure out who his illegitimate son was. And the guy that they had lined up to be his son gets suspended for using or fired for using steroids.
Yeah.
And so like a week before they're going to reveal who his son is, they have to pivot and eventually reveal that the Little Bastard was
That's why it's called the Little Bastard.
I can't believe it. Like years ahead of time. Like it all came full circle. It's actually
it all
brilliant.
makes sense now.
Yeah, if you look at it that way, it's actually brilliant. And that's the story about your buddy Hornswoggle.
Yeah, BFF Hornswoggle. Man, next time I see him at Hollywood Studios, I'll be like, buddy, Now I know. What is his shoes? Why are they so big?
Well, you know what they say. That a man with big shoes lives under
Wear
the
big
rain.
socks.
I don't know how you hold all this information in your brain. I just want the two of you. Taylor, you just like spewed out things. I cannot trust everyone. This man doesn't remember anything worth anything. I gave him an idiot proof wedding anniversary so he could remember it, which he has succeeded in doing thus far. But he can pull out all this random shit about wrestling from the 90s. Oh, that's Papa Sean going.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What? How do you remember this?
That's
If you
that's
watched
why
it at
that's
the
why the other
time-
stuff doesn't work.
That's his brain is so full of random wrestling knowledge from the 90s that he can't maintain any other knowledge.
There was a WrestleMania Jeopardy that showed up on our YouTube recommendation. So I took the
said
quiz.
we should just have the two of you play it.
I took the quiz. I got 21 out of 26. So I thought I did pretty decent.
No, you have it down. I will full confession. I read up on some of these guys.
Yeah.
Again, before I
You
shout
know
outs
the modern
to-
stuff. I know
Yeah.
the old stuff. Yeah.
When
Shout
did you
outs
get
to
in-
I knew the names, but I really if I was going to come on and talk about we didn't even get to Bastion Booger. What a shame.
Yeah. Bastion Booger was just a slob. That was
Bastion
I'm
Booger.
going to pull him up. I'm
He's
pulling him
fat.
up.
He's gross.
But why does he
Oh,
have such a
terrible.
sexy first name?
Wait,
Bastion's a
wait till you
sexy
see this
name.
guy's outfit.
Yeah, do you have the picture of Bastion Booger?
I'm
at
pulling him
least?
up right now.
I
Oh.
took a non-zero amount of time out of my day to recap what Bastion Booger's career was like. And
I
we
need
didn't
to
talk
know
about him.
About Bastion Booger.
His most famous moment was that he ate too much and got diarrhea and had to drop out of the Royal Rumble because of it.
That's me.
You don't waste a name like Bastion on this guy. That's all I'm saying.
You like Bastion?
Bastion's a sexy name. That's not a sexy man.
Yeah.
Bastion, he really didn't have a gimmick. He came to the ring eating a lot of food, and then he'd come in and basically he'd knock his
Aw.
opponent down and sit on him. His matches were not
I
very
don't
long.
like that.
But if he faced anybody who was good, he lost in 20 seconds.
His finishing move was called, I think, a trip to the Bat Cave, and
Something like that.
it was him sitting on your face, and I mean that exactly the image it conjures when I say he sits on your face.
I don't like
Boy,
that
he
the
did.
90s were so fat phobic.
All right,
It's not nice.
He's fat and he's gross. That's about it. Yeah,
That's
show him eating a
terrible.
pizza and boo him. That's about it.
Wow, I mean, they really just leaned into every stereotype.
Oh, it was bad. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
This one, you have a little person, so you're like, we're gonna make him a leprechaun and call him a little bastard. And then the Native American, they're like, we're gonna
his name was Tatanka, which
They
translated
really-
to buffalo.
they really
So he was the buffalo.
the
Better than
90s.
little
What a
bastard.
time. What a time.
Some
We're
of the,
gonna get a Portuguese guy and we're gonna put a jock strap. Like, what the fuck?
I didn't go over the plumber,
The
T.L.
90s.
Hopper. I
Evil
didn't go
plumber.
over the hockey player, the goon.
Evil hockey player.
Oh god, I'm the goon. So much is good, and yet so much is so wrong.
If
The
you hadn't figured it out, in actuality, the early to mid 90s WWF, just some of the fucking worst pro wrestling television ever. This is prior to what you would call what's famously called the Attitude Era. which
Attitude
is
era.
where
Yep.
Stone Cold and
Yeah.
The Rock and DX,
That was
Undertaker,
it.
like all the greats emerge from that, and wrestling becomes this worldwide phenomenon. This is when they're just like they have no idea what their identity is. Every character is the most on the fucking nose. He's a garbage man and he lives in a dumpster. Like it's just
I
a,
feel
it's
like
just
I'm gonna have to listen to this song at some point.
yeah, Tatanka theme song. I don't remember what Tatanka's theme song is that we're like we want to hear it. So it was so tasteful. Actually, I'm pretty sure I do know what it is, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna even try to
Yeah.
tell you.
No, we're not gonna touch that one with 10-foot bulk.
Yeah, WWF from 92, once Hogan retired the first time until about 96 was, I mean, what looking back in retrospect is fucking hilarious and cringeworthy, but everything is so on the nose. The people who actually succeeded in that era were the people who somehow managed to have gimmicks that weren't like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were just Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. That's why they came out of it unscathed. You know,
Right. I mean, you imagine now, like, if your thing was like, okay, he's a pizza chef. And on like modern television, his thing was he came out and had a big pizza pan in his hands and he throws dough on your face and you get distracted and then he like, you know, he whacks you. Like, just like, can you just imagine a character like that existing now? In the like, if you were that person, how do you get excited or passionate? I'd be like, you have dreams of being a pro wrestler. You're like, I want to main event shows and win titles, and I just want to, I want to be the greatest. And you're just fucking pizza chef Tony. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, it's just soul crushing. AJ's over there like, I would love to see pizza chef.
I do.
I'm over here like, I would way rather be like Mario Mozzarella than what I get up and do every morning.
Guys, I've seen it on Twitter. This gimmick exists on the independent scene. There is a wrestling pizza maker. I've literally seen like videos of this guy on Twitter.
I do feel like the 90s were about like you had a job and you were a wrestler thing. Yeah, like I don't feel like there's as much of that now as there was then. That definitely seemed to have been a big trend. I don't know why.
So we get the future generation to trade jobs. Yeah, I think we get this covered. I think that I think that Taylor, you have to be the HVAC guy. Like you gave such a solid pitch over.
Yeah, you should be the HVAC guy.
I clean out your fucking ducts, and then I hit you over the head with a steel chair. Everybody's booing. None of you have done any maintenance on your ventilation. It's too hot in your house.
Yeah, dude. Your finishing move is the filter. Let's go.
Yes, I like.